What's your name?
Audrey Blake.
Ms. Blake, you have an attachment that was issued in a theft of merchandise case. It was issued on July 26th of this year, another 4 hours, for failure to appear. You have a $1,000 appearance bond in the resolution of that attachment. You understand what's going on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I don't think you have an attorney yet on this. If you cannot afford one, I can appoint one. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd ask you some questions on oath to make sure you qualify. So will you raise your right hand and be sworn in? This is the uniform affidavit of indigency that you filled out of the jail. Do you swear or affirm that everything you filled out on this form, any testimony you give is true and accurate?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll send them an invite when I'm done with women. There's two. You have a job?
Yes.
Just
Right
tell
now
them
I'm
I'll send them an
working.
invite when I'm done. I'll send them an invite when I'm done.
It's seasonal, but I am employed.
Where at?
UPS,
How much do you make?
$15.50 an hour.
Property, a house, or car that you own?
No.
The other forms of income or of assets?
No.
All right, I will appoint the district public defender to represent you. That's an office full of attorneys, and they'll assign one to your case. There is a $50 fee for the appointment of counsel, and that needs to be paid in General Session Court Clerk's office on or before January 14th. But if you are unable to pay by that time, they'll add your court costs to the conclusion case. They have the number of the public defender's office at the jail. Try and get a hold of them prior to your court date. And I'm going to set this on Wednesday in misdemeanor court. And that's all I have for you.
All right.
Sometimes I tell people if they bond out, they don't have to go to the court date. That's not true for you. You'll still have to go to that court date.
Even if since I bonded out?
Even if you bond out, you'll still have to go to that court date.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
It's on Wednesday.
Okay. Thank you.
What's your name?
Ashley Taylor.
Ms. Taylor, you have an attachment that was issued in a DUI case on August 9th of 2022. It was issued for failure to appear, and the bond is to be set by a Sessions Court judge when you get to court, so I'm going to have to set you a date for that, and it's effectively denied until then. You understand what's going on?
What happened was I thought this was dismissed. My lawyer, I got an email saying I didn't have to come back to court. That was where this is misconstrued, and I got a new job now and everything, and I'm trying to, I'm a supervisor. I'm going to end up losing my job if I'm in here any longer.
So you understand what the...
I understand what I was charged with, yes, sir, and I thought this was already took care of.
What's going on? So it's not dismissed. I don't know what the conversations between you and the attorney are, but it is not dismissed.
Okay.
And that attorney it looks like Jacob Fewer with the public defender's office, and I will leave them on it for the time being.
Okay.
Try and get a hold of them prior to your court date, and I'm going to set this in Wednesday. That's the first day it's open. Let me make sure DUI court's open before I say that. Okay, I'm going to set it in Wednesday in DUI court.
Okay.
So they'll probably set your bond on Wednesday. That's the idea when you get to court. That's all I have for you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna try and call the men. Do you mind letting them know?
I'll let them know.
Thank you.
Mhm.
What's your name?
Glenn Short.
Okay, Mr. Sharp, you have been charged with public intoxication. That would be a Class C misdemeanor if convicted. You understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir.
Would you like me to read the allegations?
What's allegation?
That's what they are specifically saying that you did that constitute the offense of public intoxication.
Oh, what is it?
Can we read it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It says this incident occurred on or about Friday, December 30th, 2022 at 6:40 p.m. at 4618 Mildred Drive. On that date, time, and location, Officer Walton responded to a drunkenness. Upon arrival, officer located the defendant, Glenn Sharp, on Buffett Mill Road near Prosser Road. Sharp was unsteady on his feet, had slurred speech, and a strong odor of alcohol. Sharp said he had been drinking vodka. Sharp was taken to custody without further incident. This occurred in Knox County, Tennessee. All right, you can go forward and contest this case, or if you'll agree to pay the court costs, you'll be released later on this evening, and this charge will be dismissed if and when you pay off those costs. Would you like to do that?
Yes, sir.
I need you to go down to the General Session Court Clerk's office for the next 10 days, make arrangements to pay those costs. You'll want to take the warrant number with you, and that number is @1475665.
Okay, so when this evening I get out or something?
What about it? Yeah, it'd be a couple
Do I-
hours.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, could you read that number over for me? You was cutting in and out.
It's @1475665.
Thank you.
That's all I have for you.
All right. Yeah. So I get out later on tonight. Later on tonight and go home, right? Yep. Okay, so I ain't got to see Judge, right? Next.
What's your name?
Richard Lucas.
Okay, Mr. Lucas, you have been charged with arson. That would be a Class C felony if convicted. You understand what you're charged with?
I do, but
You don't agree with it.
I wasn't even in the vicinity when it happened. So,
Would you like me to read the allegations?
I know it's from like Destiny Donahue, my sister. Like,
I'll tell you what. Let me read the allegations. It says this incident occurred on or about Thursday, December 29th, 2022 at 1:32 p.m. at 2533 East Governor John Sevier Highway. On that date, time, and location, Rural Metro Fire Department and Knox County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to a vehicle fire at 2533 East Governor John Sevier Highway. Rural Metro Fire Department Engine 227 was the first engine company to arrive on scene. at 1:31 p.m. hours and saw a gray-colored pickup truck with fire in the engine compartment. The complainant, Debbie Heath, stated to officers on scene that her son, Richard Lucas, told her on the phone that he intentionally set her boyfriend's truck on fire. Rural Metro Fire Department extinguished the vehicle fire with no reported injuries to civilians or personnel. I, Sergeant Aaron Allen, CFEI, I don't know what that means, arrived on the scene at 1:56 p.m. The origin and cause investigation was conducted after the completion of fire operations under verbal consent from the property owner and both property owner. Both the property owner, James Stafford, remained on scene throughout the investigation. During the interview, Debbie Heath, the victim, provided a written statement stating she called her son to clear her name because someone told her that they seen her vehicle was seen leaving the scene of the fire. When he answered the phone, he told her that he set the truck on fire and hung up the phone. The victim's daughter arrived on scene and provided a written statement stating that her brother called her, stating he was watching a bonfire. When she questioned him as to what he was talking about, he stated, "You will learn soon enough." She kept asking him about what was going on and finally told her that he had already set the truck on fire and that the mother's trailer would be next. Officer Cross advised her of her victim rights and asked her if she needed a safe place to go. She refused because she did not want to leave her home unattended. Looks like I'm about halfway through. I reviewed the surveillance video at the A1 Discount Tobacco Store at 2511 East Governor John Spear Highway. The video showed a light-colored vehicle leaving the scene with a missing passenger side hubcap. I showed Debbie Heath a picture from the surveillance video, and she identified the vehicle as her gold Buick. She gave her son permission to use her vehicle a few days ago to find a job. Based on the knowledge of fire behavior, fire patterns, witness statements, and other evidence observed, the area of origin of the fire is located in the engine compartment of the vehicle. The majority of the fire damage is in the front of the engine around the plastic fan, cowling, and radiator. The gas lines going to the carburetor were intact. The victim, James Stafford, stated he had not used the vehicle because of a flat tire and his vehicle did not have a gas leak. On the driver's side door, a fire pattern was observed, indicating the fire was burning up from the dirt driveway. A sample of the water next to the ice was taken. Had an odor similar to gasoline. A red plastic gas can was found on the ground on the passenger side of the vehicle. There were also pour marks down the center of the driver's side door. The evidence observed indicated the suspect intentionally poured gasoline across the engine compartment and set driver's side door to ignite the vehicle on fire. Investigation ongoing. Charges pending.
No,
All right, you have some rights I need to go over. The first is that you have the right to remain silent. No one can force you to make any statements. Any that you make voluntarily can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, I can appoint one for you. And you have the right to a preliminary hearing as a probable cause hearing where the judge will hear the evidence against you and decide whether this case is strong enough to be bound over the grand jury for further prosecution. Do you understand those rights?
yeah.
Would you like me to appoint an attorney?
I have an attorney for some previous charges on them, Rachel Wolf.
So again, would you like me to appoint an attorney to represent you on this case?
Yeah. I take it I'm not going to be able to bond out on it.
I don't know. We'll get there.
Oh,
One thing at a time.
okay.
I'm missing your form, I think. Let me see. Did you fill out a form for an attorney?
I filled out a form about 6 o'clock this evening. I don't know what it was for.
Does it look like this?
Yes, sir. It's Lucas, Paris Richard is how it's written on it.
Okay. Yeah, the Lucas got cut off in the facts. Looks like. Can I ask you some questions? I know to make sure you qualify for a court-appointed attorney and to set your bond, so you raise your right hand and be sworn in. You raise your right hand and be sworn in. This is the uniform affidavit of indigency that you filled out at jail. You swear or affirm that everything you filled out on this form, any testimony you give is true and accurate?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. You have a job?
Yes.
Where do you work?
Tau Ironworks.
How much do you make?
18 an hour.
Any property, a house, or car that you own?
No, trying to restart my life.
The other forms of income or assets?
No.
You live in Knoxville?
I was living at 2333, and then it's like Knoxville, well, Fountain City, I guess now, Halls area, Wood Lake Drive with my sister.
How long you lived in Knoxville?
I mean, for the solid past 5 years, I've lived in there.
And
Before then, I was in Oak Ridge.
how long did you live in Oak Ridge?
About 13 years.
You have any family here, or Oak Ridge is close enough?
Oh, I have family in both.
Who would that be?
Wait, and what, in Oak Ridge?
Either
Or-
one.
Well, in Oak Ridge, I have my son, my sister, the family friends growing up with. In Knoxville, I have my other sister, my 2 nieces, my oldest sister, 4 more nieces and nephews, and my mom. Like,
And is there anybody that would vouch for your reliability to show up in court?
that would what?
Vouch for your reliability to show up in court.
Kara Donahue, Christy Green. Yeah, I have people, like, I've never missed a court date. I've never had an FTA or nothing. I show up to them.
It's correct as far as Knox County goes, anyway. I'll tell you that.
The one in Blunt or Marone County, I paid the traffic ticket in court, and then next thing I know, I had a FTA on that one. But then I paid $210 again, and it got covered.
I don't know about all that. I can't actually see that. So you probably told me more than you had to there.
And just being honest, I went out of here.
Okay, well, I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. As a condition of that bond, should you post it, you're not to have any contact or communication with the alleged victims, which is James Stafford and Debbie Heath. And I'm going to appoint Rachel Wolf to represent you.
Okay.
I think the income you said that you make is kind of borderline, but she's already appointed to represent you, so I'll just go ahead and put her on this case as well.
Okay.
I'm going to
And
waive the administrative fee that we normally assess for the appointment of counsel because it's already been assessed in a pending case. Ms. Wolf's telephone number is 325-9653. Try and get a hold of her prior to your court date, which I'm going to set on Wednesday, January 4th in felony court for a bond review. So if you are unable to post this bond, the judge can reconsider it at that time. If you
if they
do,
reconsider it, does that mean like just release me on my own, or release me without?
it means
Sorry, I think you're about to explain it. I'm sorry.
It means they take it up completely anew. As far as I know, that they look at it completely new. They might look at what I did and consider lowering it. They start doing this process started since I took this job. So I used to be an attorney, but this started after I started doing this and stopped being an attorney. And so I don't know. I think that they take it up just anew if they take it up. But they might like just basically reconsider it, as opposed to just see if it's too high what I wrote and and then reducing it. I think that they just look at it just brand new without even considering what I set it at. But I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% positive on that. But that's all that I have for you.
Is there any way I can use your phone?
Not mine. Give me a second. I'll talk to you after. Next.
Back in.
Yeah, just right over there by the door.
What's your name?
John Kirby.
Lieutenant Spain. Four rounds complete out of 6.
Okay, Mr. Kirby, you have been charged with possession of a handgun by a convicted
Yes.
felon. It is charged as a Class E felony. If convicted,
Yes,
you've been charged
Is that
with possession of a prohibited weapon. That'd be a Class A misdemeanor if convicted. You've been charged with driving without a license. That'd be a Class C misdemeanor if convicted. And driving an unregistered vehicle on the highway or other public roadway, that would be Class C misdemeanor if convicted as well. You understand what you're charged with?
yes, sir. But the firearm did not work, and I gave it to him. I told him I had it.
Okay.
He tried to cock it
Would you
on
like-
the camera, and
Would you like me to read the allegations?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it says this incident occurred on or about Friday, December 30th, 2022 at 5:33 p.m. at Dry Gap Road. On that date, time, and location, I observed a silver Chevrolet bearing Tennessee registration 8S26P3 that expired on October of 2022, traveling on Dry Gap with an expired tag. I conducted a traffic stop on Dry Gap at Beaver Creek where I made contact with John Kirby, the sole occupant of the vehicle. Johnny stated that he did not have a valid driver's license. I requested Johnny out of the vehicle, to which he complied. I asked Johnny if he had any weapons on his person, to which he replied he had a firearm in his front right pocket. I retrieved the Kel-Tec 9mm from his pocket and also brass knuckles. A records check revealed Johnny to be a convicted felon out of Anderson County for felony theft of property in 2014, and that he did not possess a valid driver's license. Johnny was taken into custody without incident. Johnny consented to a search of the vehicle, which resulted in 9 loose 9mm rounds and a Kel-Tec magazine with 3 rounds in the seat, located next to where Johnny was sitting. The firearm and ammunition were placed in the property locker at the City-County building. The vehicle was towed to Fountain City Record. Johnny was transported to the detention facility without further incident. Alrighty, you have some rights I need to go over. The first is that you have the right to remain silent. No one can force you to make any statements. Any that you make voluntarily can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, I can appoint one for you. And you have the right to a preliminary hearing. That is a probable cause hearing where the judge will hear the evidence against you and decide whether this case is strong enough to be bound over the grand jury for further prosecution. Do you understand those rights?
Yeah, I do.
Would you like me to appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need to ask you some questions on oath to make sure you qualify, as well as to set your bond. So you raise your right hand and be sworn in. This is the uniform affidavit of indigency that you filled out of the jail. You swear or affirm that everything you filled out on this form and any testimony you give is true and accurate?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You have a job?
No, sir. Not at the moment. I'm trying to get my disability started.
Property? Do you get disability at all?
No, sir, not yet. I was incarcerated up until the first or second month or second of this year.
Okay. Any property, a house or car that you own?
Huh?
Any property, a house or car that you own?
No.
The other forms of income or of assets?
Yes, sir.
You live in Knoxville?
Yes, sir.
How long you lived here?
Almost my whole life. That, the
How
felony
much is
theft
almost?
out of Anderson County is not correct.
How much is almost all your life?
Probably 38 years, maybe 39 years.
You have family here?
Yes, sir.
Who would that be?
I've got a sister that's left, and my dad, he's still around, but we don't talk much. I've got 2 children, but we don't talk much either. Every once in a while we talk.
Is there anybody that would vouch for your reliability to show up in court?
Yes, my sister. Yeah, I have absolutely no reason to go anywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna set the bond on the possession of the handgun offense charge at 1,500, and then I'm gonna set it on the prohibited weapons at 750, and then I'm gonna set it on the driving without a license at
I'm
250,
unable to come up with a bond. So.
and then I'm gonna ROR the other charge, so that's $2,500. I'm gonna set this in felony court for January 4th, so that if you're unable to post that bond, the judge can reconsider it at that time. And as soon as that prints out, if you do make the bond, they'll give you a different court date to go to when you're being released. Go to that one instead. And as soon as that's done printing, I'll get you an attorney.
Yeah.
So it looks like you are currently represented by the District Public Defender in another case. And I will appoint them to represent you in this case as well. I'm going to waive any administrative fee that we normally assess for the appointment of counsel because it's already been assessed in another case. They have the number of the public defender's office to jail. Try and get a hold of them prior to your court date, which if you don't post that, it'll be on Wednesday. That's all I have for you.
I got one more for you.
Okay.
You can have it yourself.
Be right with you.
Got another toilet paper? Not for you, not for you, not. Huh? Just for this pod. Oh, just for this pod.
I'll be right with you.
Thank you.
All right, what's your name?
Antonio Ferguson.
Okay, Mr. Ferguson, you have been charged with disorderly conduct. That would be a Class C misdemeanor convicted. You understand what you're charged with?
No. Yes, I don't understand the charge, but yes, no, I don't. I don't understand the charge, but why was I mean, why did they lock me up?
Would you like me to read the allegations?
Yes, sir.
Says this incident occurred on or about Thursday, December 29th, 2022 at 11:33 p.m. at 21st Street at White Avenue. On that date, time, and location, Officer Brinkley responded to a disturbance at 21st Street at White Avenue. You been in jail two days?
Yes.
Police were notified by East Tennessee Children's Hospital security that the defendant was walking around the hospital acting erratically and shouting vulgarities at passing traffic. The witness, security officer Lieutenant Richard Walston, stated to police that he observed the defendant walking toward traffic and shouting, "Kill me." Police located the defendant walking down Cumberland Avenue with his pants falling down to his knees and placed him in custody without incident. Police previously encountered the defendant in reference to a call for service where he was also observed shouting on the sidewalk and with his pants falling down to his knees. This occurred in Knox County, Tennessee. All right, you can go forward and contest this case, or if you'll agree to pay court costs, you'll be released as soon as they're done processing you at the jail. And this charge will be dismissed if and when you pay off those costs. Would you like to do that?
Explain that to me. They have to they let me out and pay it like that? Because actually, I was quoting the Bible scripture, sir. So it wasn't what they thought it was.
Okay, so basically you'll be released later on tonight if you'll agree to pay court costs. And if you pay off those court costs, this charge will be dismissed when and if you pay them off.
Okay. How much is it? How much does it cost?
I don't know. The longer you're in, the more they go up, though.
Okay.
Maybe a couple $100, if that.
Okay. I'd rather get out and pay it as soon as possible because.
I need to go in the General Session Court Clerk's office for the next 10 days, make arrangements to pay those costs. You'll want to take the warrant number with you when you go. And that number is @1475604. That's all I have for you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank both y'all. Thanks.
That's all of them.
Have a good night.
Have a good night and have a happy new year.
You too. Yes, sir. Both of y'all.